This is day 45, episode 23 of my modular journey. And today's topic is the XAOC Devices Batumi. Batumi is a quadruple low-frequency oscillator, or LFO, which basically means it has 4 channels. It has 4 different modes. Right now it's running in free mode, which means all 4 of these are running separate of each other. They can all be different speeds, independent of each other. And you can see what that does to the data over here on the side, in fact. Makes it kind of chaotic. It also has a quad mode, which means the first slider sets the speed of the LFO, and then the rest of them all fall into place. And there's and these other sliders do different settings in the quad mode, quadrature mode, phase mode, and divide mode. And how I plan to use it is mostly slow LFOs. That's the real goal for me, is to get some nice slow LFOs in my patches. Like VCAs, I think you can never have too many LFOs. We have frequency inputs here. I guess these are for clock inputs. We have a reset or sync based on how this switch is set. Oh, did I mention Poti? People on the internet seem to call it Poti. But it's basically the breakout box that attaches to the jumpers in the back, so you don't have to pull the module out to change things. Looking at the deck here, we have a sine wave. I'll plug the red cable in over here, and so you see this beautiful sine wave appears. Then for the blue cable, I'm going to plug it into a saw. And so the sine wave for this, or the same thing appears for the saw. So now there's a saw here because we have it set to saw up. So the interesting part about the middle row here of outputs is it can be saw or assign, and the assign comes with these. So with it configured the way I have it now, it's saw up. If we flip the switches, it becomes saw down. So there's a saw down, and then if you do the both of them to the right, it's a triangle, becomes a triangle wave. And then both of them to the left is a trapezoid. Let's look at how many outputs there are. We're talking about 12 LFOs, because there's 4 channels, there's 3 rows, and then you can assign the center row to something different. So I can put in 3 different ones right out of the same channel and get 3 different shapes on the oscilloscope. That is why I bought Batumi. Stages has 6, Batumi has 12. So with everything free running, they just kind of run at their own speeds. If I was to put them into quad mode, and again, just watch data change. So now I have this as the speed for everybody. You see how all the different channels speed up, and then this is them growing. The higher up I go, the bigger the LFO, the more from 0 it goes. So that's pretty neat too. Phase mode, I believe what's happening now is each one of these is out of phase from the other a little bit. I think that's what phase mode does. And then of course divide mode. And divide mode goes on to chaos. So basically what you're seeing on data over here is all of these shapes are coming out of these 4 channels. And again, that's 4 of the 12. I guess I could probably try patching some of this in somewhere. Let me see where my sound is. So if I was to take one of these out of data, let me plug it into detune. I'm gonna go back to free mode real quick. So this first LFO is now changing chainsaw's detune. So that's pretty badass, right? That's kind of how another thing I want to do with it. If I take another another LFO, like the second channel LFO, I can put it into, let's put it into a filter. So because I'm using 2 cinnamons for stereo, to keep the chainsaw in stereo, now only one of them has an LFO on it. So let's put a second one on and see what happens. So if I take the final one, the last one, let's put it in somewhere. Let's throw it into, let's see what FM does here in Chainsaw. I don't know if I've ever done that. I can't see what I would ever do with that. Clearly a thing that would need to be attenuated. Let's try something else. You know what? I totally forgot to change the cinnamon filter. Because what I was really trying to show is that 2 channels, left and right, would then oscillate differently, or LFO differently. So this is kind of what I do with Chainsaw. What I call my chord chainsaws, when I'm playing chords out of Symphonian, for instance. I'll usually have it doing these big sweeps like that. And a slow LFO. Oh, that's kind of cool. So that is it for episode 23 about the XAOC Devices Batumi. Coming up next will be another XAOC device called Belgrade, which is already in the rack. Don't look. Stay tuned.